Okay, so I thought that while I'm doing some stuff to my computer, as you can see down there, I thought that I'd make a video on the H60 Corsair, unboxing of it basically. Because I never have, despite having had 3 of these now, and I am quite well experienced with these things. I don't even need to read the manual for them anymore. I could just straight install them. I should probably mention actually the reason why I've had to get a new one, despite the fact that I actually already had a H60. The reason is because on the version 2s at least, the screws on them are a little weak, which means that if you tighten it just even a micro amount too much, it will actually bore straight through the radiator thread, which means that your radiator screw holes become bare and you can't screw the screws in. This happened to me, and I had no choice but to get a new H60. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to take this one down. It's my own fault, and just sort of move on from there. I'm going to be more careful with this one, hopefully. But yeah, if I just go over here a second, I've actually got my old H60, and I'm not sure if you can see it with this camera. No, you can't. But right there, you can just, there's a little bit of grey, and you can see where I've gone straight through the radiator thread. It was very easy to do that, and it's something you probably want to watch if you get a H60 of your own, is that it's very easy to go straight through the thread and take the radiator out. You know, make it so that you either A, have to refred it and get new screws that fit those threads, or B, get a new H60. I thought it would be easier to get a new H60, so that's exactly what I did. And this is the unboxing of that H60. So as you can see, you get your default Corsair stuff and padding. Next in the box is the actual water cooler itself. As you can see there. So that wraps right around. A note about that, that was very hard to get out, and in fact, as you can see, I actually tore the box trying to get it out, which wasn't so good. And I've messed the entire box up as well in the process. Though, I mean, that's also a good thing. I mean, it sounds like a bad thing immediately, but it is also a good thing in the fact that it means that it's probably not prone to damage because the box is very well compacted. So if it gets thrown around a little bit, it's not going to fall everywhere and break and all that. As a note, protective. This is not Corsair Link ready. The H60 is not. So if you actually look at the H100, which I've also got, if we go over here, I've got my H100 here. You'll see there on the side, it's got a USB and a socket I don't recognise. That's actually for Corsair Link, for their monitoring software and that. You also got it there as well, where you can connect it in. So this H60 is not that advanced. It doesn't come with all that other little gear you get on top. It just comes as the water cooler, a single fan header for plugging it in, unlike the H100, which requires an entire SATA connection in order to plug in, and a fan connection. I don't truly know why, because it's exactly the same pump. It's just bigger radiator. I guess it's for the Corsair Link stuff. It requires more power, but then the Corsair Link stuff takes its own power anyway. So it doesn't actually require power from the pump. Okay, so you got your radiator and your actual pump and your hoses. A note. Yes, these hoses are actually different from the other H60 I had. So So these pumps are ribbed, which I was reading up on it, and there's something about that. I can't remember what exactly. Anyway, so there's the radiator and the pump. Then you got your fan, only a single fan. I'd recommend you don't use this fan, even though it is PWM. Now, one thing I would like to note to people, one thing I've been seeing on some computer sites recently is that people are not actually sure what PWM is. PWM is power of modulation. It essentially means that the motherboard can regulate the fan speed via an extra cable for which it sends down voltage. Now, this does mean that your fans will run quieter and slower if you have PWM plugged in. It is something to note, and you shouldn't downvote a product for it. You should actually upvote a product for it. Just a little note there. Okay, so last little bit, we have our screws. As you can see, we have AMD and Intel there. You know, AMD, Intel. And we have our mounting brackets. There you go. So it's all pretty standard kit in that. As for the actual radiator, if I were to talk about it a little bit more, as you can see, it comes pre-stamped with a block of thermal paste. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my own. Not only that, but because of having to try and get this out of the box, I've actually scratched the thermal paste. I probably could have done with putting the mobile phone down while doing that, to be honest with you. But it's too late now. It doesn't matter anyway, because I'm going to be using my own thermal paste. So there you have it. That's the unboxing of the H60.